Boxing Truth here, back with another video. Make sure to smash that like button, subscribe, all that good stuff. Follow me on Twitter. Alright, Tank Davis versus Hector Garcia. The sound of that makes Boxing Truth shadowbox. It's actually a pretty intriguing fight. One could argue this is the best opponent to date for Gervonta Tank Davis. That's not saying much considering Gervonta's 28 years old and very deep into his career. But it's a good fight. It's a real fight. I think the odds makers are showing a lack of respect to Hector Garcia. Sure, I would rather Garcia have a little more experience, maybe fought a couple times at lightweight. But despite being a 130-pound champion, moving up to challenge for Tank's regular title, whatever it is, Garcia, he brings size, he brings variety. He's a solid, skilled southpaw, good amateur background. He's coming into this fight with momentum, confidence. He's one of the Dominican resurgent fighters out there that Dominican boxing is showing life all of a sudden. They're showing more life than Boricua boxing. Boricua boxing is almost completely dead. But I'm looking forward to this fight. This is right here. It tells you that Gervonta Mayweather protection program is no longer in place. Let's be real here. Floyd Mayweather would have never allowed this fight to happen. Just a little too risky for his liking. Him and Leonard Ellaby, they wouldn't have not made this fight. If they were still in charge, he would most likely be fighting an Abner Mares type. But he's fighting a fresh, in his prime, active champion. And it's going to be a good fight. The odds makers are going crazy with the line, though. Gervonta should be the favorite, but a 16-1 favorite. Hector Garcia as high as an 8-1 dog. Might have to sprinkle some on that line. Of course, even though Gervonta is no longer with Floyd and the protection program is gone, Gervonta still has Al Heyman to protect him. So you have to keep that in mind. Most likely, even though Gervonta's not with Floyd no more, he is still the A-side fighter. He's still the money-making guy on the PBC. Still one of Al Heyman's important pieces on the chessboard. So tread carefully if you're going to play with this line. I might just sprinkle some just for the fun of it. Hector Garcia would be worth it at 8-1 underdog odds. He's most likely going to have to knock out Gervonta to win the fight. So that's why the line is that out of whack right now. I don't see Hector getting a decision. You know, the road fighter against the star fighter in Gervonta Tank Davis, but it's still a good fight despite the protection in place that most likely will be installed on fight night. There is a decent undercard. It's a showcase undercard. You got some names like Boots Ennis. You got Demetrius Andrade signing a multi-fight deal with PBC, so that's exciting news for him. So overall, it's pay-per-view, but you know, there are ways around that. It's a solid card. I think it's a good fight. I think it's a real fight. I think Hector Garcia is arguably the best opponent to date. Just brings more to the table. He's got the size. He's got the southpaw style. He's got the counter-punching skills. He has the boxing ability. He's a way more complete fighter than Rolly Romero. He's a more complete fighter than even Isaac Cruz. Isaac Cruz is explosive, but he has no jab. This guy has a little bit of everything, and he has the confidence, and he's not afraid. He's not intimidated. The protection will be in place. Most likely he'll have to knock him out. But this is one of Gervonta's most significant, interesting prize fights of his entire career. I'm looking forward to it. I want to see if Gervonta can get it done against this caliber of opponent, where he's been unimpressive against lesser opposition, such as an Asian Gamboa, such as a trash Mario Barrios, losing rounds to him, even losing rounds to Rolly Romero and getting bailed out by an incompetent ref who prematurely stopped it. So a lot of question marks surrounding Tank Garcia. He hasn't had a great performance in a long time. What was his last great performance? I'm trying to think. It's been a minute, man. It's been a minute. Still recording knockouts. Still showing punching power. But the momentum has definitely been halted. Now he's no longer with Floyd. Interesting. They definitely try to get him beat against Rolly. They felt he was big enough, strong enough to make it interesting. Just don't understand why that ref did what he did. If they truly felt, he was gonna leave them after that fight. The ref was quick as hell to stop that fight. Didn't even give Rolly a chance. I expect this fight to be competitive. I expect it to be very interesting. I think Hector Garcia brings a lot to the table. And I expect it to be one of Tank's tougher fights out there. I think it's going to be a very interesting fight. Tank's going to have to really dig deep. He's going to have to showcase all his skills and punching power to get this hungry Dominican fighter out of there. So I expect some drama in this fight. May even place a small wager on Hector Garcia. Despite my criticism of Tank Davis, I still think he's one of the more exciting fighters in the game. He's definitely must-see TV. And if he ever fights the likes of a Devin Haney or Shakur Stevenson, I will be rooting for him. Only because I prefer his style. And I prefer his fighting style. I'm just a bigger fan of Tank than I am of Devin and Shakur's fighting styles. I'll take Tank's style all day, any day over those guys' styles. It's just way more exciting to watch. There's something to look forward to. A big splash or a big statement win is always a possibility with the punching power that Tank Davis possesses. I don't think he beats Ryan Garcia. Who knows if the fight it's in place for that fight to happen, but a little surprising that he took this assignment considering the Ryan Garcia fight is right around the corner. A little tougher than expected opponent. And if Floyd was in charge, this fight would definitely not be happening. Y'all would have got Abner Mars instead on pay-per-view. So y'all could be happy that Tank's no longer with Floyd. We ain't gonna get those type of bullshit opponents even mentioned. Looks like it's gonna be straight shooting from here. Looks like Tank is gonna want to test himself against the elite as he's tired of the criticism, tired of being called a protected fighter. He may still be protected in this matchup, but it's definitely a real fight. Looking forward to it. Tank Davis versus Hector Garcia. This is Boxing Truth. I'm out.